welcome back to your PBE Weekly Rerun. I'm your host, Ioe Torrent, and I gotta tell you, Io is excited. What's Io excited for? Is it the new Season 24 kickoff to the season? Is it the new PBE logo? Is it Sarasota Supernova right there in the thick of things? Well, yes, but also PBE Rewind is back and better than ever. I have new friends this season. I'll be bringing you weekly news and notes around the league. I'll be joined by stats guru Geronimo Shiderme, who will be bringing you interesting stats and stories around the league each week. The illustrious Bat Doctor himself, Dr. K, and of course, my friend Sam26 with the Minor League Rewind. Also here in studio, we have our production crew of myself, Dr. K, and 209 Tacos, bringing you the top stories in PBE baseball each week. So let's jump right into the standings as they stand after week one. In the East, we have the once average-looking Duden class who grew 6 inches and got hot and buff during the offseason. The Outer Banks Aviators leading the way with 19 wins and 7 losses. 5 games ahead of the number 2 team and defending champs, the New Orleans Rougarous. And at number 3, we have the New York Voyagers right at 500 at 13-3. The Sarasota Supernova at 11-15, and the Indianapolis Apex at 10-16, with the Cancun Toros dropping all the way down to 6th at 9-17, just 2 games ahead of the last place Providence Crabs. Outer Banks is in the month of May after going on a 6-game winning streak in the first part of the month. Is currently on a 3-game losing streak moving into week 2, but it's still pretty firmly at the top of the pecking order. Over in the West, we have another team that obviously hit the weights in the offseason, and the Vancouver Vandals leading the way with an 18-8 record, with the San Antonio Sloths, Nashville Stars, Death Valley Scorpions all 15-11, 3 games behind first place. The Detroit Demons and Boise Raptors are both 13-13, 5 games back, and we also have with the Kashima Foxes 10-16, 8 games back. Over in the West, it is an absolute meat grinder when it comes down to how close this division is. Vancouver was able to separate themselves going on an 8-game winning streak in the month of April that is giving them a strong positioning moving into the summer months. Moving into some player highlights, we have Death Valley Scorpions' James Love hitting his 200th career home run. Love is having a fantastic career so far, hitting .270 lifetime with 1,125 hits, 255 doubles, 16 triples, and 620 RBI to go along with his 200 home runs in his 12-year career thus far. On the pitching side, Kashima's Ivy Leaf pitched a no-hitter against the top team in the East, the Outer Banks Aviators, winning 2-0, allowing only a single hit while striking out 11 hitters and walking only 1. On the season, Leaf is 3-2 with a .316 ERA, but I gotta say, this is a pretty amazing no-hitter against a top-hitting team. Well, that's it for standings and highlights. Let's move into some of the fun segments as we bring you Geronimo Shiderme as he introduces the Stat Room. Take it away!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Stat Room. I'm Geronimo Shiderme, and this week I'm going to quickly take you through a guided tour of the offensive MVP race. There are 2 direct ways to contribute on offense: scoring runs yourself or batting in your teammates. With this in mind, I wanted to take a look at which players were shouldering the heaviest load for their team so far, 26 games into the young season. First, a look at the leading scorer for each of the 14 teams. 5 players are tied for the lead right now with 23 runs each. If we sort this list by the percentage of runs scored individually per run scored by their respective teams, we can see which players are responsible for the largest portion of their team's runs. It looks like Hardin Long, Red Arrow, and Michael Fitted are doing some heavy lifting here. But batting in runs is equally as important, so let's look at our team leaders and RBIs as well. No surprise to see Bobby McDonald and Jameis Winston leading the way here. Let's sort these players by their percentages. The percentages shown here indicate the proportion of the team's RBIs accounted for by these players. We see Bobby McDonald drop down into 5th here since the Sloths are an offensive powerhouse, and that's the beauty of looking at the portion of the team's runs these players have batted in instead of just the raw data. Finally, let's put it all together to see the team leaders in runs accounted for, which in this case is a sum of the runs these players have scored combined with the runs these players have batted in. Gold, silver, and bronze go to Hardin Long, Bobby McDonald, and Gustav Beauregard respectively, but let's sort one last time to find out which players have carried their offense the farthest. I'm including the division standings here as a final factor in deciding the early season offensive MVP. Only one of the top 3 players here is on a team currently in the playoff race, and that player appears to have done more for his offense than anyone else in the league so far. Hardin Long is my choice for offensive MVP right now.
A lot of folks like baseball because of the amount of stats this game generates. You have all kinds of numbers going around that create their own stories, even with the players. So it's fantastic to see a little bit deeper dive into what's going on with those numbers. Thank you, Geronimo, for your hard work there. That's some interesting stuff going on and something that we will be keeping an eye on as we look at the MVP race moving forward into the season. Moving into the next segment, we have the illustrious doctor himself, Dr. K, coming into the surgery room to take a look at what we got going on under the hood. Take it away, Doc.
What is up, guys? My name is Dr. K. We're going to take a deeper dive into pitching today. I would venture to guess most people watching this video understand ERA as well as inning pitched, how to sort, how to look at it, how to read the numbers, all that's probably pretty familiar to everyone. So we're going to take a look at a couple of different sabermetrics today. The first being strikeout percentage. This gives us a great idea of who has dominant stuff in the league, and it is led by Slim Dugan, who is at a 52.1% strikeout percentage. He's basically sitting at 102 and 2/3 inning pitched, and he already has 208 strikeouts. He's striking out over half of the batters he faces, which is ridiculous. On the other side of the coin, we can look at walk percentage. Walker Cato, for instance, has 194 and a third innings pitched and has only 26 walks for only a 3.5 walk percentage. Diving into some of the other sabermetrics, we have FIP, which is field independent pitching. Essentially, this looks at a pitcher and takes away all the defensive factors. So it only analyzes the three true outcomes of baseball, which is home runs, strikeouts, and walks. The scale is the same as ERA, so a 1.21 FIP is absolutely ridiculous. Moving over to walks plus hits per innings pitched. This is a great sabermetric to look at for relievers as well as small sample sizes. It's essentially saying how many people get on base for each inning that they pitch. So for instance, Jose 43 only lets on 0.6 batters per inning pitched. The last one I want to look at here is BABIP. This is a great statistic because it shows the batting average of balls in play. This is a good idea to analyze both the defense as well as sort of the luck of the pitcher. So Jose 43 is sitting at a 181 BABIP, which is super low. We can move over to the team statistics and info to look at the league batting average, which is 234. So we can kind of use that as a benchmark. Anybody above that number is pretty unlucky. Anybody below that number is super lucky. So we can quickly look at the most unlucky pitcher, and we have Thomas Corcoran, who's sitting at a 340 BABIP.
Thank you, Dr. K. Fascinating stuff. I really enjoy seeing kind of the sabermetrics revolving around pitching and defense. I don't think this league shows the importance of defense as well as it probably could, obviously, within the simulation. So breaking that down for us is, I think, really exciting. So keep up the good work, and we'll see what you got next week. Well, that'll do it for our first week breakdown of the PBE. And as always, there is a lot of baseball still yet to play. So these numbers could change in the future, and so it'll be exciting to kind of see as the season progresses. So as always, from here at the PBE Rewind team, thanks for joining us, and good luck to everybody out there. And as always, we'll see you next week with PBE Weekly Rewind.